Alright, so I'm gonna start a little bit of a mapping thing. Wondering what this world map is. Essentially, I started a little bit of a, could say a Wix-ish map, but there are some big differences. Like, for example, this Carthage here is independent alongside Britannia, and Rome has pretty much its pre-Civil War borders, and also we see that the Atlantic civilizations are pretty much in the hands of other countries, and also, yeah, a bunch of differences for the original like so, but we're not here for that. We that map is also has its differences, but we're here because we want to start a little bit. So we're gonna look at the Holy Cities Rebellion, like here, right there. Yeah. Um, nope, record, and it's right here. This area is known as Ras Makrad. It's a beach in Oman near Dukum, but although its capital is in Dubai, it still calls itself Ras Makrad. Why don't you call yourself Dubai? I have no clue, but I'm following the wiki, alright? I'm following the wiki. I don't want to call it Arabia because it's not all of Arabia. Even if it's all of Arabia, I prefer calling it the Ras Makrad. It feels more comfortable. And the color red so that I can color it back to blue. It's a practice I do. Because I have this best thing. Anyway, there's a few fan-made information in here. So, disclaimer. The Hamdi dynasty that ruled over Masquerada is getting weak, but it's ineffective Emir Mehmed V. Yeah, Mehmed V. Essentially letting warlords across the country do whatever the hell they want. The only reason the country in Yemen is known to rebel a lot is a pain in the ass for the government to hold down. Anyway, now there's a breaking point when Mehmed V dies and his son Mehmed VI keeps on the ineffectiveness and essentially ignores the problems that this country has, which are a lot: political instability, decline, economic recession, and worst of all, in the south, a movement has begun known as the Holy Cities movement. Essentially, these areas right here are known as the Holy Cities. In this universe, the Prophet Muhammad has been born here instead of born in Mecca. Back to Mecca. Here, it's a little more peaceful, and these areas are pretty holy, and a lot of people do pilgrimages there. Although the pilgrimages have been told to be Mecca, people go here to pray, as believes they have a closer connection to their ancestors or whatever. It's a little weird, but I mean whatever. And notice that this area is from where humanity started from. The city of Ras Makrad, quite a holy one. It's under the rule of the Banu Zakaria dynasty. They was against Salala, and they made a bit of an unholy alliance with Dubai, which is a trucial city, which means they support, like, basically confederation, and Muscat. There was a Captain Nizwa, so Muscat Nizwa. Anyway, all that matters is that this alliance is now done for. Ras Makrad is left on its own. So Mehmed VI, well, croaks. Zachariah's third son. Zachariah was like the dude who ruled this area until he got executed. Um, he just launched a full-on rebellion while everyone just grabbing power. Dubai already controlled the capital, Ras Makrada, and these guys So anyway, they start taking a lot of territory. And one country notices that, and that country happens to be Mesopotamia. And I believe that it's like after the Fourth Punic War or before, I forgot, but doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm just gonna do this for simplicity's sake. I'm not gonna like go too much into detail and do all that. Listen to me, alright? I'm not gonna bother with like drawing the borders outside and all that because I forget a lot. Anyway, Mesopotamia sees that Rasmakrad is a fear for all and essentially open. Don't want to cover it up. This green country takes like essentially double its actual land mass, which is insane. How can they do that? No clue. But anyway, they took over the Yemeni areas. Essentially, do a little conquering around, messing around and taking over this area. There's also this other whole ass province. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, sometimes I'll have to click multiple times just to get the color or some shit. That's annoying as hell. And the other Yemen breaks away, which leaves Mesopotamia. What they essentially want to do is just take their capital. That's it. Control the. They're just trying to control the entirety of the Persian Gulf. Uh, so the holy cities, well led by Zechariah's son, Sufyan, gets nearby and fights Mesopotamia. Why do they fight Mesopotamia? Aren't they like their brethren or something? Well, essentially, they just want to kick them out. So the treaty is agreed upon. Mesopotamia would just hold on to Abu Dhabi, which is pretty good. And the rest essentially just falls, alright? It's basically a bunch of warlords and tribes getting whooped by Japan for like for like a few years. That civil war happened in 1498, yeah, and it finished in 1501. And Sufyan the First declaring himself Emir of Ras Makrad. And I'm not even gonna need capitals for the other countries. Alright, that's good. Let me just put the capitals in, color that red, and back to its OG color. That's the process I do, it's just easier, right? That's what I do, personally. Oh yeah, there's that. So I'll basically spot Bumbleclat. Take note of, here I don't even have to color it in red because it's already in red. I'm a genius. I just not self-glazing at folks. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, Rasmakrat. The Brothers of Van Dyke essentially secured their rule by a few mean executions. And Sufyan, he's got siblings, alright? And his siblings essentially kind of want to create a colonial empire, but he got to rebuild the nation. I mean, it's that shit straight up fucked. And now Mesopotamia starts doing this little conquering phase, a little conquest. They went all out. No, Sub's got a whole ass freaking empire. Kinda bring it back, Mesopotamia at the peak ish. Like in episode 2. But here it's a lot more different. First off, they did not have Greece, and also they did not have southern Italy, so they just took every single other country as a starting spot. Except for Rasmakrata. Yes. Yes, they just did. And they had no shame doing that. They got no shame conquering everything. You know, Okay. So, Central Mesopotamia around the 1690s just goes around conquering. At this point, Sufyan is dead, and the Banu Sufyan dynasty now is ruled by a guy called Abu Bakr the First. And this guy, low key, is scared, like everyone else. He's scared he may be next on Mesopotamia's chomping list. So Mesopotamia gets absolutely violated by the coalition of the 13 nations. Alright? They get cooked. And they lose the wars. Along with the Allies of the Farmers Union that are not also gonna be shown here because, again, I'm not gonna bother even doing that. Anyways, here's what happens. Alright? At the peace conference. Kind of a Congress of Vienna, the Napoleonic Wars, but here it happens earlier, and it's overall a lot more brutal towards Mesopotamia. They essentially start carving out new countries. I mean, not new countries, but hold on. Let me remove that. Yeah, I may have to just crop that as well. And yeah, although Rasmokraza participated in the war, only although late, they still up to the defeat of Mesopotamia anyway. Kind of like the U.S. during both world wars. And I'm not throwing shit at the United States. Okay, how am I kidding? Of course I'm gonna find anything. Throw shit at them. Hold up. No. Yeah. Uh, yeah, the inconvenience of coloring sometimes. I don't know why, but I always fuck it up. I mean, anyway, a new country carved out of both Mesopotamia and also Persia, kinda. I don't know. I didn't really like bother to give too much of the details during that coalition. Really, it was a bit boring. A little bit heartbreaking to see Mesopotamia go for the nice country that I liked. I thought to annihilate the Square Alliance to a secret traitor. Uh, sorry, no, I did not mean to think that. Anyway, uh, this burgundy color looks pretty nice, and that is Crete, first off. Then this lavender turns darker, and that is the Hittite Queendom, Old Cyprus. There's an accuracy here, but whatever. I mean, I don't give a fuck who owns, like, Louisiades or some shit. By the way, they're an archipelago in the and essentially, what happens is Mesopotamia gets carved up to prevent it from going in on these conquering sprees ever again. At the same time, creating new conflicts with other countries, essentially creating beef. And that beef is over who is the true successor from Mesopotamia. Because the caliph of Mesopotamia, Rahman the First, yes, they had a caliph at one point. It was only him, the only caliph. That's why he went on these conquering sprees. In the first place. He was a little schizophrenic. I mean, I'm not gonna say schizophrenic, but he was, some of that good stuff. If you know what I mean. Mm. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna put the cap on Crete. Yeah, at me. I don't care. Caucasia. I just do this for convenience sake. And media, which used to be called Karaj. Probably because of a Persian city, but then they changed it to media because, like, media. And by 1700, yeah, Mesopotamia does not look too sexy anymore. They got absolutely clapped. Alright, clapped. And if you want to learn about more of the beef, so essentially, the Hittite queen claims that she is the true successor of Mesopotamia because she was the sister of Rahman the First, the only caliph in Mesopotamian history. And Faisal the second, and also, hold on, let me remember. Nah, I'm just call him Muhammad the second for convenience sake. And Muhammad the second. Well, Muhammad the second backs. It's Faisal the second's claim about who is the true successor of Mesopotamia because he is in the core territory of Mesopotamia. He even holds the fucking capital, Babylon, the fucking capital, Babylon, obviously. So why would an Anatolian queen claim that she's the successor of Mesopotamia? Makes no sense. On the behind behind the scenes, there have been a bit of plotting between Mesopotamia and Ras Makrad, a vision of a old empire. That vision was essentially that Mesopotamia and Ras Makrata, if united under a old empire, they believe that we're the country, and there should be no others around the world. At least the extremists say that, but some others say that the holy reunion should happen, and and this country should be a great power leading the others into prosperity. These ideals are pretty expansionist, you know. Like how in back in ancient times in the medieval era, Mesopotamia was pretty darn expansionist. Yeah, it still exists. They're no different from the Romans. Alright? Right here. They could even be called the Romans of the Middle East. And that's not a title that's given to them. Anyway, what about these areas? Who could choose them? They're Persian. Alright, they're Persian. So, Creed backs the queen of Hittites. Hittites who, and we're gonna call her Asher the First. So Asher the First is still claiming the throne, and a few countries choose her as the true Mesopotamian ruler. You see, the Hittite kingdom is the true successor of Mesopotamia, and not the kingdom of Mesopotamia. And as for Caucasia, though, they could give less of a fuck. Like they don't give a fuck. Their king is like, nah, I got pressing issues, bro. I don't get paid enough to say any opinions about any of that bullshit. Anyway, as for Ukraine, they got pretty big, and yeah, I'm gonna get to World War One pretty soon. Now I gotta stop this. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this vid. Like, comment, sub, do the usual. That vid with thousands of views, still don't know why. But anyway, thank y'all for the support, and see y'all next time.